Hello everyone, and welcome to another off-road update. The 2024 Grand National Cross Country Championship was entering its final 3 rounds of the year. As the riders descended on the Summit Bechtel Reserve in Glen Jean, West Virginia for the Mountaineeer GNCC, the title could be wrapped up 2 rounds early. A Stu Baylor third paired with a Johnny Girroir win would lock up the 2024 championship. But, as they say in motorsports, that's why we race. With the green flag waving for the 1 o'clock pro start, Johnny Girroir was first around corner number 1. Jordan Ashburn from the inside and Mike Witkowski from the outside carried good traction and momentum, fighting for the whole shot money. Ashburn got to the line by the slightest of margins, but ran wide along with Witkowski, allowing Girroir and 2023 champ Craig DeLong into the mix. Witkowski would lead into the woods, followed by DeLong, Girroir, Ashburn, and Liam Draper. Halfway through the opening lap, and it was Witkowski all alone out front. No rain in the weeks leading to the event created a massive trail of dust behind every rider along the rocky course. Ashburn would come through in second, DeLong was third with Girroir and Draper rounding out the top 5. 6 through 10 would be Evan Smith, Trevor Bollinger, Josh Strang, Ruy Barbosa, and Ben Kelly, with Stu Baylor rounding out the field after a late start on the line. Kawasaki's Lyndon Snodgrass would end his race early before halfway of the first lap. Just a few miles before lap 1 was complete, Ashburn had moved to the rear wheel of Witkowski for the number 1 position. Girroir ran third, Draper in fourth, while Bollinger had moved into the top 5. Defending champ Craig DeLong meanwhile crashed, suffering a broken hand that would end his race early. Smith, Strang, Barbosa, Kelly, and Baylor rounded out the top 10. One mile into lap 2, and Ashburn found a line in the bike-only section to take over the lead from Witkowski. The leading duo, pulling more than a minute on the rest of the field, was taking advantage of the dusty conditions, being thrown off the rear tires. Draper still held third over Bollinger, who had moved into fourth. Smith had moved into the top 5, with 2010 champion Josh Strang chasing him in 6th. Barbosa, Kelly, and Baylor were next in line. Where was points leader Girroir? A crash 1 mile into the opening lap broke his clutch lever and was left to do damage control the rest of the lap before arriving back to his pits to change it out. When all was said and done, Girroir was nearly 5 minutes out of the lead. At the 9-mile mark, nothing had changed as Ashburn had pulled out a sizable lead over Witkowski. Draper in his second race in XC1 held third with Bollinger still in fourth. Evan Smith rounded out the top 5 with Strang still in 6th. Barbosa retained 7th with Baylor moving up to 8th after passing Kelly at the midway point of the lap. Girroir, meanwhile, had yet to make up ground on anyone ahead of him, while also fighting through riders from XC2, XC3, and A-Class riders that passed him in the pits. Mile 7 of lap 3, and it was still Ashburn leading the way with clear air in front over the Indiana rookie Witkowski. Draper had lost ground but still held the 3rd position, the dust not allowing anyone much opportunity to close on the riders ahead. Bollinger and Smith still ran in spots 4 and 5, with Strang leading the back end of the top 10. Barbosa and Kelly were next. What happened to Baylor though? A crash of his own on a rock damaged the clutch cover and the plate inside, rendering his bike immobile. The Kawasaki pilot was done for the day. Pit stops just before the 2-lap card for the riders, and Ashburn couldn't hear anyone behind him. The 2022 champion was looking for his first win of the year. Draper had caught Witkowski as the riders swapped positions back and forth in the pro pits, with the order staying the same when they checked in at the finish. Bollinger was looking for his first podium in 2 years, still ran 4th. Evan Smith's pit was before Josh Strang's, and when the 2 privateers exited the pits, Smith held his position by the narrowest of margins. Kelly had gotten around Barbosa for 7th. Points leader Girroir, though, was on a blistering pace, setting the fastest time on lap 3. 8 miles into the penultimate lap, and it was Ashburn controlling his own fate out front. Draper had once again latched onto the rear wheel of Witkowski as Bollinger was closing on the duo ahead of him. Evan Smith rounded out the top 5 with roughly a 20-second gap back to Josh Strang in his second ride aboard a Beta. Strang couldn't breathe though as 2021 champion Ben Kelly was surging, closing up the gap on the Australian just ahead. Barbosa was still in 8th as Girroir was still charging, putting in the fastest time again as the riders checked in for the white flag. Two miles into the final lap, Ashburn controlled a 35-second lead over Witkowski, who had Liam Draper breathing down the Honda rider's neck, with Trevor Bollinger just off the back of the two ahead. Smith, Strang, Barbosa, and Kelly were all next in line, as Girroir still held his pace and was closing in fast with just under a lap to go. Halfway through the last lap, it was Ashburn, Witkowski, Draper, and Smith rounding out the top 5. Strang still held 6th with Barbosa in 7th. Girroir, with his charge, moved around his teammate Kelly to take over 7th on track. At the checkered flag, it was Jordan Ashburn taking his first win of 2024. In the final miles, Liam Draper would get past Witkowski to take over the runner-up position for the day. Witkowski would lose out again as Trevor Bollinger snuck by as well to earn his first podium of the year. Witkowski eventually finished 4th with Evan Smith rounding out the top 5. Josh Strang was 6th, followed by Ruy Barbosa in 7th. As Johnny Girroir crossed the line in 8th for XC1, everyone was waiting to see where he was in the overall. With Stu Baylor out, a 14th place overall finish would lock up the title for the New England native. With the top 3 in XC2 as well as 250A winner Nick DeFeo checking in on adjusted time, Johnny Girroir finished 12th overall, thus clinching the 2024 Grand National Cross Country title. Girroir came across, didn't even know he had won, until KTM team members went back to the truck to let him know he was the newly crowned title holder.
Yeah, man, it still hasn't come to me. I didn't know I won. Came off the track all pissed off, and went back there, and they said I might have got it done. So, yeah, it's cool. It hasn't sunk in yet, but I'm happy now.
Yeah, we finally got one this year. Kind of snuck it in late in the year, but kind of got comfortable all year on the bike, and I think we're in a good spot right now. I'm really happy with everything, and everything kind of clicked today, and the track was gnarly and a different kind of gnarly, but I got pretty comfortable out there, so I just kind of rode my speed and tried to manage the race.
Thank you everyone for watching. Round 12 of the 2024 Grand National Cross Country Championship takes place next weekend, September 28th and 29th in Millfield, Ohio for the John Penton GNCC. I'll see you guys there.